Hi folks, this is John Matus again with your Training Center Manager tip of the week. And my goal today is to show you a little bit about some of the outreach tools in our Marketing Manager. These are hopefully some things that will allow you to get a hold of your students, your instructors, your customers, and even the people who maybe have asked for quotes but have not sealed the deal to do any business with you yet. So your normal TCM modules are up here with your training and your equipment, etc. But when you look here at marketing, what it does is it gives you a list of your prospects. And prospects are people, again, who have asked you for a quote. You recorded all of their information. Maybe you sent them a quote, but they have not called back to seal the deal. So they're sort of in this area. They're not quite clients, but at the same time, not quite strangers. So what you can do is fill this out, this prospects area. And then when the customer calls back to actually go ahead and purchase your services, then you can transfer them seamlessly into the client area, which is kind of nice. You don't have to retype that stuff in. But the links that I actually wanted to look at were these right here: broadcast students, broadcast instructors, broadcast clients, and broadcast prospects. So these are tools that you can use to reach out to people who are in your database so that you could perhaps market some services, send out notifications, etc. So let's look at broadcast students real quick first. If I click on this link, what it does is it allows you to select some date ranges and then select either all courses or course types. So let me give you an example. I can say, show me from 2010 to 2000, we'll go nice and broad, 15, every student who has taken BLS for healthcare providers. Because maybe what I would like to do here is to send them a email about our renewal schedule, or maybe just send them a mailing list, whatever it is that you folks do. So the first bullet here is just a printed list, which would download the demographical data for all of those people. Useful, well, probably not super useful unless you're going to do a lot of phone calls. An email to list. So here's an example. We could say make a BCC list. And what it would do is it would pound out an email to every single person who took BLS for healthcare providers with you in that date range. Now, my date range is like 5 years, so it's not very practical to use that date range. But let's say you wanted to do 2 years ago. Those people are probably good for renewal about now. So maybe this is a good target to send emails out about your current schedule. And if you hit send email, then that, of course, would fire off the email that you typed out here in the subject line and here in the message. So it would look something like this. Renewal schedule. And then you could put your information here in this line about when you're going to offer new courses. You can also export these contacts. So let's say that you would like to do a mail merge, perhaps. You could say export contacts. It makes a CSV down here, which should open right up in an Excel for you, if you have Excel installed. And here's all the demographical information of the people who took BLS for healthcare providers with you in that period of time. So let's look at some other applications. We just did students, but here's something kind of interesting. Let's say you have a piece of information that you need to get out to your instructors. Let's say there's a brand new test for, I don't know, AHA ACLS. So you can tell the computer, hey, show me all of my active instructors, not the ones that have expired and I've marked inactive, but show me all of the people who have an ACLS instructorship. And again, I can print the list. If I'm going to make phone calls, I can email to all of them, or I can export the contacts to a mail merge. And this database only has one guy in there, but I'll show you something a little broader. Let's say BLS for healthcare providers, or BLS instructor, I should say. Export those contacts, open the CSV. So here's all of my BLS instructors. So as you can see, this is a pretty practical tool for reaching out to instructors that are in your database already. It's also good for promoting instructor courses, or perhaps sending out new memos. Again, when the test of change is a good example, or perhaps a renewal course schedule, whatever it is that you need to be in touch with people about. You can also send it to inactive folks. So maybe you want to reach out to those guys to see if they want to get their instructorships back, or maybe you want to send it to everybody in your database. So these are, again, useful tools for being in contact with instructors. Clients, so these are organizations that you've dealt with. So let's try to give you an example here. Perhaps you have come up with a great program for, I don't know, dental continuing education, and you decide that you're going to reach out to all of your dentists. Or perhaps you came up with a great daycare provider course. It's some kind of pediatric safety and injury avoidance course, and you want to market it to all of your daycare people. Or maybe it's just perhaps a general community course. You can say, hey, show me everybody in my database who is of client type community or EMS or hospital or corporation or whatever it is that your demographic is. And when you export those targets, it will export everybody who is in that demographic for you. Okay. You can also do the same for prospects. So again, the difference between a client and a prospect is a client is someone in the training module that has done business with you already, and the prospect is somebody who has called for information. You put them here into the marketing section, but has not actually run a course with you. So you could say, hey, show me all of the people in my the prospect manager that is of the corporate type. And when you export that, again, you will get a CSV with all of those people. And again, we only have one here, but you can kind of see what output. You can mail merge it. You can send those people all emails. Very, very broad tool. Underappreciated. I think a lot of the folks who run training centers and use our product don't necessarily realize that there's so much great contact stuff and how targeted these contacts can be. So hopefully this has been useful for you, and your brain is kicking around with some ways of increasing throughput in your training center, and recovering both some students you've reached out to, perhaps some instructors that have expired, or some customers who aren't aware of all of your offerings. You can see additional tips of the week at our trainingcentermanager.com by clicking on the support link and going to the support area of the software. There's a knowledge base there with all of our tips of the week and various learning-based documents that you can see. Again, hope that's been helpful. So long.